My headphones aren't working. And then I got to yell at Scott.
Why?
Because he's shirking his responsibilities, making my life difficult. He's the only one making my life difficult right now.
What could Scott be shirking?
See? So you don't know everything that goes on around here. Still a few mysteries. No. What happens is, you know when I get on the air and it says, we're back with the Howard Stern Show and there's little music bumpers?
Yes.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show. Here's Howard.
I have Ralph pull a lot of the music for that. And every time Ralph goes back to Scott and says, Scott, do you want to work on the bumpers? He goes, no. So then Ralph brings it to Gary. Gary calls Scott. Scott says he's busy. And it's a high priority with me. For some reason, because Ralph's involved and Gary's involved, Scott doesn't take it and roll with it. He just won't. For a month now, he hasn't touched the bumpers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it goes round and round bouncing between Scott and Gary and
Yeah, so I have
Ralph
a problem.
and no work being done.
Yeah, I have a problem.
Oh, call him in here then.
Yeah. And I don't know how to get Scott to take me seriously. I mean...
Who does he think he should listen to?
No, there's a whole bunch on
Ralph,
Reel.
come in here.
There's a whole bunch of them that are done.
Yeah.
On Reel, but Ralph said, wait till I bring in more music because those are a lot of the same.
Is that true, Ralph? There's a whole bunch of them done on Reel, and you said wait till I bring in more music?
No. What's done on Reel?
All of this stuff that you gave me is done. But you said you didn't want them put on cart because they were all like the same artists, and you wanted to vary the stuff. And
Scott, no, that's not true.
Okay.
What are you saying happened? Listen, I got to get this straightened out, and I want Fafa Fooey in charge of it. Again, Fafa Fooey is not in charge of these things.
Scott, yeah, I don't know. All I know is every time that I ask you to do it or try, and I'm nice about it too. I mean, I don't know how to get it done. I've asked Gary.
Those are all done. Everything you've given me is
how
done.
about all those CDs?
I thought you said he yells at you each time.
Everything you've given
No,
me
I
is
didn't
done.
say each time. Once Scott, I went in there to ask Scott something. I don't know.
Here's the situation
It was a bad
on that.
scene.
Well, let me hear Ralph first, and then you tell me. You walk in, and it was a bad scene. How was it?
I don't remember exactly why, but I asked him something, and like he had this music cranked up, and I couldn't even. I'm talking to him. When somebody starts talking to you, you expect him to lower the thing. So, and I'm trying to yell over. I can't hear it. I'm like, Jesus, Scott, you won't even lower the music. And I just like walked out, and then Scott starts screaming, and I mean, it freaked me out because I've never seen Scott like that. I mean, red in the face and screaming at me.
Screaming about what?
Okay, now you want to hear my story?
Yeah.
I'm working on Best Of in there. He walks in, and I'm listening to it because I got to listen to it.
Come in here, Gary. I got to have you working on this. Don't walk out of here. This is your responsibility. Why are these two interfacing?
Well, Scott's going to explain it in a second, but Ralph came to me like a month ago, and I spoke to Scott, and Scott said everything was fine. Ralph hadn't come back to me, told me there was a problem. I didn't know there was a problem.
Ralph sits there with a blow dryer. I'm trying to read the newspaper, and I say to him, why are the bumpers not changing? And he starts saying, well, Scott yelled at me, and now I don't know. What is the story?
Stop.
Why do all I know is I don't hear new bumpers.
What about all those CDs? I borrowed some CDs from Scott.
Why do you? Here's my problem with you, Ralph. Why do you fill my head with stories back there, and then when you get on the air, you got no story?
What do you mean, Phil?
Where are the bumpers?
Scott doesn't do them.
You picked out the CDs. You did me a favor and picked out the CDs.
Yes, and
then what happens?
And every time I go to
did I tell you to give them to Gary?
What?
You're supposed to give them to Gary. And Gary should work with Scott.
No, I've been giving him to Scott.
You've been giving him to Scott?
Yeah.
Well, evidently you and Scott has a problem dealing with people. True? Am I right? True. From what I understand, I've never experienced it with you, but anyone who's perceived by Scott as not important or an underling.
That would be John Gorillo and Ralph.
Right. If anyone brings, it depends on who brings him to work. Scott, do you physically want me to bring you?
No.
I want to get these bumpers in here.
The work's done.
Wait,
But it's not on the air, Scott.
It's not doing me.
I explained it to you.
How about all those CDs that I said were borrowed from?
They're done.
Where are they?
They're in my cabinet.
But why aren't they back to me or to Scott DePace? I mean, the guy's nice enough to bring in the CDs, and you keep them for 2 months.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
And how's supposed to
I asked Gary 2 times, and Gary asked Scott 2 times. It doesn't happen. So what am I supposed to do at that point? Be a pain in the ass?
No. Let me explain something to Scott. Scott, Ralph is doing me a favor. It's not part of his job.
Didn't I tell you that Sandy was doing those bumpers now?
Sandy?
So what am I supposed to do? Look for Sandy? I see her once every month.
Scott. Ralph's doing me a favor. He's lending his CDs to me so that I can create bumpers.
Right.
You get the CDs, you dub off the music, 10 seconds or 20 seconds of music, and then you give them back to Ralph because they're his CDs. I don't care who does. If Sandy does it, why does Ralph need to know who's doing it? What's the difference? How does that help him? And Gary, where are
Because
you?
he likes to sit there and make sure that everything is perfect.
As well
What's
he
wrong with
should.
that?
As well he should.
Fine, so he knows.
He's one guy I got that actually knows what he's doing.
So fine. So he knows that when I'm busy and I'm doing.
I wish all the people who work for me would sit there and worry about it. He's doing it for free. Ralph might be a turd, but he's doing it for free.
That's a pile of work. See this? That's a pile of work on there. Okay? When am I going to do bumpers?
Here's the deal. I want this done. It's very important because I'm sitting and listening to the same songs every day, and I got to figure my audiences. I like new. It sounds fresh. I like everything fresh.
Fine.
So,
could I finish the other story?
From now on, Gary, now you have to supervise.
Papa Flunky.
Unless Scott can handle this.
But Howard, I have been. Ralph came to me and he told me there was a problem. I went to Scott.
Yeah.
Scott goes, all right, I'm going to work on him. That was a month ago.
And nothing
And
new.
nobody followed. No, Ralph didn't come back and say it's been a problem anymore.
Now, I have this discussion on the air, and then I'll get a whole bunch of new ones, and then it'll be another month.
Because if
before I
Ralph
get
came,
any-
if Ralph came to me again, no, but if Ralph came to me again,
recurrent problem.
What? It's always a problem.
It's a recurrent problem.
And then I have to have this discussion on the air.
How often would you like the bumpers changed?
I would like the bumpers changed on a regular basis. Keep them coming in.
Every month you'd like a whole new rotation?
Yeah, or just keep, whenever he's got a new song, throw it into the rotation. Doesn't have to, it could happen every 2 weeks.
Let me ask you something, though, because
Yeah.
what would happen if, suppose there's no new song
Yeah,
in that week? We've had a whole year's worth of bumpers.
yes.
Couldn't they rotate some of the, just freshen them up every
Yeah,
month?
I don't know what happens. I don't know what happened to some of the old ones. I don't
Fred
know.
has everything. I mean, everything we
Do
do.
you play them all, Fred?
We
Sure
give
I
him.
do.
You do?
yeah.
He doesn't.
You know what it is? We have them so much, and then you get tired of them. You get tired of
Yeah,
that
why?
issue,
No, but listen.
and then we add new ones.
This is already 7 minutes too long.
Right.
I need you guys working together back there. And I can't have this discussion every month. Ralph is being nice
I understand.
by bringing his CDs in and sitting there. But then again, as soon as Ralph gets a little power, he becomes a pain in the ass. So you can't allow that to happen either. I can't have him bugging you every 3 minutes like now this is the most important thing in his life.
Right.
But I got to somehow, Scott, get through to you that this is a high priority.
Well,
with
maybe
me.
I misunderstood on that. He said, do them.
Yeah, don't listen to him.
Okay.
And Fafa Fui, I want you checking every 4 days to find out what's going on with bumpers. Write on your calendar. Do you have a calendar?
Of course.
Every 4th day, write down, I
Howard.
want to know what's going on with the bumpers.
This sounds to me like one of those organizational problems.
Of course, I have all
And
organizational
the problem
problems.
again is no leader.
Right.
No,
No,
it's-
one
but Howard-
really responsible.
Well, you
for
have
this.
Gary.
And
It's not an
making sure-
organizational problem.
Yes,
it's
it
a
is.
Scott problem.
you wanna hear my
I'm
problem?
This is what I'm going to say right
Wait,
now.
wait,
no,
wait.
time out. As much as I hate to defend Ralph, in this instance, he's right. Scott doesn't
Is
respect
belligerent.
him.
I
When Ralph
understand what
goes
he's
to him,
saying.
Scott should say, I'll do that, or I'll get back to you in 2 or 3 days and let's do them. Because when I need something done, Scott will seek me out. He'll say, I know you want to do that 2 days,
You know
but
what?
let's do it.
You have-
We've
Absolutely
already,
wrong,
you know what?
Gary, okay?
Gary's already had this discussion
Yeah.
20 times with Scott. What you would do is fire Scott. That would be the next logical step.
Go ahead, fire.
But Gary can't fire him.
No, but
Go ahead.
if
No,
Ralph...
do it.
Can we
No,
fire
Scott,
you?
do it.
All right, you're fired.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, goodbye. You can go home now. It's that simple? We're allowed to fire you? All right, goodbye.
Ooh, he's
Scott-
walking out.
Good. Is that how easy it is to get rid of Scott?
He ain't
No,
going
unfortunately, he
anywhere.
knows there's a union involved in everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's like,
He's going to write a grievance.
once the union gets involved, I'll be safe.
What you really have to start doing, if you need to know, is you have to
Yeah.
start writing letters and putting them in his file.
Goodbye. I was fired.
That guy Boz
I used to
work with at NBC.
He fired me, right?
To replace
So-
Scott. And where is
You're actually going to go home?
Where is
What else am I going to do?
Is he?
I was fired, wasn't I?
Well, is that a legitimate firing?
You tell me.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
You got your stuff and you're going to go home, so I guess so.
So now Scott's officially gone?
No, he's
He's
not.
officially out of this room. That's all.
He's gone from the chair.
But
I just fired him.
I believe we're looking at the beginning of a work slowdown.
Yeah, great. If he goes any slower?
Are you going to call the union?
I'm not going to call anybody. I'm going to go on unemployment. That's going to be the end of it.
racing tape.
Yeah.
So what do you think you're going to do next?
1949. 1948.
Listen, man.
See someone else do it better. That's all.
Forced to do it.
No. I don't work for the show anymore, and you can't use my material because I'm fired.
Yeah, it's just like,
And you can't use this. Shut it off.
Listen, man, I got to get these bumpers on. And Scott's just got to be forced to do it, and Gary, you're just going to have to ride him.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a problem. The last time Ralph spoke to me, I spoke to Scott, and I thought it was taken care of.
Yeah, it's just like, don't you hear the same music? Don't you? Am I the only one who hears it? Am I the only one listening to the show?
No, of course.
I mean, where is everybody on this? You know, let's get together.
Actually, when you do it on the air, Scott realizes, because he just never
Is
believes it.
Ganji taping Scott right now? I sure hope so, that lazy, fat bastard.
Is that Scott or
How's it
Ganji?
going?
Ganji.
or sad when you got fired?
So what's this
Get outta
firing
here.
thing?
No one told me to tape Scott.
Get out of here.
You know, it's real funny. I was watching the E! Show last night. Christopher Cross was on. So Ganji follows him out, and he goes, "So, did you have a good time?" Which is just a different version of "How'd it go?"
Yeah, right. I know.
You happy the way it went? Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, he's an easy guy to talk to. You know, I didn't find him mean at all.
He doesn't know what to
He's
say.
varying his
It's
questions.
the same question.
I know.
Fun.
Yeah,
Was it
right.
a positive experience?
How do you think it went?
How'd it go? We sent them out in the hall with a roving camera to talk to the guests. The guests have been interviewed every which way, but, you know.
You've already done everything to them.
They're blurry from
And then
the
Christopher Cross walks out, and then you have this big, fat Ganji standing there with this bad camera going.
Curly with a
So,
camera.
what happened in there? Was it a positive experience?
Do
Somebody
you
just
think it went well?
It seemed to go quite well. Would you agree in the affirmative?
Well, Ganji's comments are the funniest thing, because he says to Christopher Cross, "It was a very good interview. I think you came across as a real person."
Yeah.
Actually, everybody's saying you came off like a real person, which is what everybody likes to hear. You know.
I thought I fired you, Scott.
I have a new job.
Yeah.
Somebody does like a half an hour with you, and then
Who's
Ganji,
getting
you know,
Scott? Ganji's in here.
Well, Scott's got the video camera and is taping Ganji.
Scott's happy again, because now he's
He
off
took
the
my
fi-
camera.
I could be doing the bumpers, but instead I'm getting the hijinks.
How'd
How'd
it
it
go?
go?
We see I'm with Christopher Cross. He comes out of the room, and you go,
So, was it a positive experience?
I'm trying to vary those questions a little bit. I'm trying to change it. Listen,
It's the same question in
Listen,
different
there
words.
are times I have some really good questions. Come on. I mean, listen, not everyone can.
and you know what?
accept.
None of Ganji's questions ever get on the air anyway. All that tape he's out there taping in the hall.
Have you ever heard Howard before?
Have I heard Howard?
You kidding?
Are you a fan of Howard's?
I'm more than a fan. I'm a deranged stalker.
So you excited to be here?
I was until the panties and the bra sitting on my lap comments.
one day Ganji's going to go to somebody after they do a half an hour with you. So how'd it go? And he goes, "You dummy, weren't you listening?" And smack him.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean, how'd it go?
Yeah, we'll head back.
No, you know what? One day you're going to shock me by being creative, because you don't have a creative bone in your body.
No, I do.
And what you're going to do is you're going to listen to the show, and you're going to hear me do a question, and you're going to do a follow-up question to that question, something I didn't think of. You do?
Yeah.
No, it's
But
never
does he
happened.
A lot of times.
Does he
Hey,
ever
listen, a
get
lot of times
new guest impressions of what it might be like to come in here before and then say, well, how did this match what you thought it was going to be? Was it
That's
the
a question
same?
I do.
What were you expecting?
How did it go?
I had such a good time.
How did it go, Yasmin?
I think it went pretty well, you know. He didn't throw me too much. How did you think I did? Okay?
You went great.
Yeah. All right.
All right, listen, you know what? I don't have time for this now. You get out of here, Ralph, get out, Scott, get out, and Gary, go take care of these people. Get my work done for me.
No, Howard, and then he gets like this. He goes, John, listen, I have this to do. I got this to do. I have Robin's tapes. I'll get to it when I can.
All I know is Ralph comes to me and says Scott yells at him. Up, Scott's back. I thought I fired
Now
you.
let me explain the situation, because you didn't let me get a word in edgewise.
All right, let's
okay?
hear it.
I'm hotter than
The
a
reason I
cigarette.
yelled at Ralph is because he walked in, remember he said I was playing music?
Would you take a hit of speed out in the hall? What?
Yes.
What?
He must
I just
have
fired
taken a
myself
couple
up.
of puffs.
What?
I gotta take my hat off. Look at that.
Oh, man.
Now I'm, yeah.
Wait, go ahead. Say
Ralph,
what?
get out of here, will you?
No, let
you
me say
already
what-
told your story. Now just get out.
what is your side of the story?
Okay. So I'm working on stuff, and he walks in and he starts talking to me.
Right,
And I'm not paying any attention because I'm listening to what I'm doing.
right,
And he says, "Could you turn that down?" And I said, "Ralph, I'm in the middle of doing something.
right.
No, I'm not talking to you because I'm working. Come back." And he walked out all pissed off. And
No,
I said,
here's
"What are
the
you
way.
pissed
If
off
I
about?"
had, in a way, it's not all your fault. If Gary was a manager, Ralph would go to Gary and say, I need a day where I can work with Scott. Can you find out for me what day would be good? And then they would pencil in 2 hours with you during the morning program here, where Ralph would sit with you and do the music. And Ralph wouldn't even be involved with you. But Gary throws people together and tells them to get stuff done. Ralph,
and that's why I stopped going to Scott. Because
Ralph, what happens when you go to Gary? You don't want to go to Scott and have tension. Understood.
Right.
What happens when you go to Gary and you tell him of your problem?
Well, I told Gary...
Did you tell Gary or you didn't?
No, I told him twice. I told him once that I needed these done, and Scott said he could. He said he couldn't do the CDs. He didn't have time.
When was the last time you said something to Gary?
like a month ago, three weeks ago.
So why wouldn't you go to him?
So why did you say something to Howard? Why don't you just go to Gary and say?
Because Howard asked me yesterday in the limo. He said, "How come I'm not hearing any new stuff?"
So you should have said, "I'll get them for you. You'll have them tomorrow."
No, because Scott, because it's a problem. It's a
problem for him to deal with you.
It's like you give up. Why?
But the reason you're having a problem, Ralph, seriously, and this is part of your problem.
Yeah.
It's like when you walk into the studio and you don't ask Gary ahead of time, and then we throw you out.
Right.
It's because you're supposed to ask if you can come in. Right. Just go to Gary. Tell him you're having a problem.
So let's just forget everything that
See, the
happened
real
in the
problem
past
is
and
Ralph.
Oh, sure, but, you know, it still comes back to Gary because Gary should say, where are the new bumpers? He should be as interested. He should know that new bumpers are needed.
Are important.
Here's one of my major problems. A lot of different people.
See, I have a whole...
This is a mess.
This is a mess. Yeah. All right, Scott. Go ahead quickly because I really am supposed to be doing a show. I can't be doing this.
How can you concentrate on what he's saying and look at that head?
I don't know. Go ahead, Scott. What are you saying?
It's sweating.
What are you saying? Seriously.
A lot of different people come to me with things to do.
Yeah, but you also yell at everyone.
No, I don't yell at everybody.
And you know what? To be honest with you, Gary's one guy. He can't always be the guy to come down. Sometimes you could take a little initiative, Scott.
Of course I do.
And work with these people.
I mean, if John gives me something, and Gary gives me something, and Ganji gives me something, and Ralph gives me something.
What is it, John?
Then Gary comes to me and
as much as I'd hate to defend Ralph too, but Scott, when you go in there with Scotty and you just say,
shut up.
Hey, Scott, I have some tape for an interview. What? I'm busy. What? And he gives you this look. He starts yelling.
You know that I'm goofing on you like that.
I know I don't. No.
Saying he doesn't know.
No, I don't.
Obviously,
the last time I came in, you
Scott, when's the last time you goofed on anything?
No, Scott, and then he gets like this. He goes, John, listen, I have this to do. I got this to do. I have Robin's tapes. I'll get to it when I can, and I'll call you. And that's it. And then he
gets in 4 o'clock in the morning. He should be able to do it.
Angry, so it's very hard to deal with him. And I know what Ralph's talking about.
Here's an example. Gary will bring me a stack of work like this and say, we need this right away. Yeah. And by the way, there's 2 weeks, 3 days, 4 hours, and 23 seconds till best of.
Okay, so what do you want from him?
Don't even get me started. Best of. Every time Scott and I go through the same thing. Scott is like a kid with a term paper.
Right.
Best of will be finished, right? We're running at the end of this month. Do you think while that week is on, Scott will be working on new best of? Of course not.
No.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. All of a sudden, only 3 weeks till best of. I better get cooking.
Right, and then he's in a panic.
And then he goes, I can't do anything. I'm doing best of. And it's like, yeah, but you should have done best of
been doing it all along. You should be rolling off an hour.
And the other deal, Scott.
Don't give me any credit for doing 21 hours of extra material when he was out sick for 7 days.
You got credit for that.
Plus the best of is ready already for 2 weeks from now.
No, listen to me.
You know, I was working my ass off on that stuff. I gave you over 35 hours of material.
Shut up. You got your credit. Now, the other 11 years that you've done it behind, I'm talking about, and I shouldn't have to wait.
This is like the OJ jury.
Scott's got it done, right? But again, it's under the wire.
Gary, if there is a problem with Scott, you got to come. If you can't straighten it out, you got to come to
tell me there's a problem.
And then we'll have Tom fire him. If there isn't a problem with Scott, that's all. And if there isn't, what did the union tenure you or something? Are you feeling awfully cocky?
No, he's low man on the totem pole.
I could be fired like that.
Oh, really?
There's 3 people here, and Scott's the lowest one.
That's right. Scott's a hard-working guy. He has his shortcomings. God knows that. He can't figure out what to do.
Like everyone in this room is perfect.
Well, please.
No one's saying that. Robin is perfect.
Excuse me, Robin.
So aside from Robin, everyone has their fault.
I lost my head for a second.
All I'm saying is that, Gary, come up with a system that Ralph and all these people come to you. You hook them up with appointments with Scott, okay? That's how we're going to do it from now on. Thank you.
Appointments, that's right.
All right. Is that good?
That's fine.
Scott, obviously there's a problem back there.
I have no problem.
John has a problem. Ralph has. Everyone has a problem.
You're the only one without a problem, Scott.
I don't have any problem.
I have no problems.
My problem is, where's my next cigarette?
I can
no. You don't have this discussion with Gary off the air. Please, I got big things to talk about. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. I hope, seriously, I hope you understand that I'm very sincere when I tell you I need this music.
I understand that.
All right. I wish there was another engineer that we could send into a room with Ralph.
That's why I gave it to Sandy to do.
Good.
She knows how to do it now. I showed her how to do everything.
Right. So whoever can do this work, I need this work.
Then why don't you hook up Sandy and Ralph for regular appointments?
Let Gary do that.
I've done. He sat with.
You did that.
He has sat with Sandy and done them.
So is he just being like a big crybaby?
He knows that Sandy has been doing them. He has sat with her and done it before.
So why are they not in my room?
I don't know.
What happened?
He gave me a bunch of them.
Even though you give them to Sandy, why don't you? How come I don't end up with them?
I explained to you what happened.
Here we go again.
Come on,
I thought it was over.
Just stop with this. You know, stop making excuses. Just,
haven't you sat with her?
Let's just do it. Yeah, I've sat with her.
And
but what? That was like 6 months ago. I did that.
I explained to you the confusion on this batch of them.
Listen, Scott. I can't wait till 10 o'clock when Sandy rolls in.
The guy, listen. I don't know how it gets done. Maybe schedule an appointment with Ralph.
Do you think like once every month, me and you can just, I can
No.
You
don't have this discussion with Gary off the air. Please, I got big things to talk about. Go ahead. Out and Z.
We'll figure it out.
Out and Z.
Good night.
For God's sakes.
How you do?
Thank you. So, all right. So tell me if you. Does this solution make you happy?
See this? That's a pile of work. See this? That's a pile of work on there. Okay? When am I going to do bumpers? There. So there, kids. Want to see how I yell in the morning? What did I do to you?